It's going to be a quick trip, perhaps. They tell us that Harvey is due in here after us. So they told us, you really have to, it's a hard stop. And I said, well, given that the other workshop went over, might we have more time? It all depends on our illustrious president. I'm banking that he'll be a little behind. But just in case he isn't, we wanted to go ahead and get started with the understanding that folks will be still coming in. On this fantastic voyage, I'm happy to introduce us as the directors of this cruise ship, as the song says. My name is Tamara Lumpkin. I'm a lifestyle coach. I will introduce the others. Do I need this mic? Yeah. You said it would help? Okay. My mother always told me I had a big mouth. Okay. Clearly not big enough, or maybe in my old age. And the other directors of the cruise ship, Tawana Burnett Fortune, also a coach and school psychologist, Katrina Banks, an empowerment coach, and Lisa Harris, branding and leadership maven. And so with that, I'd like us to get started with letting you know your itinerary on this trip. The objective for today is that you will learn tools to garner success in your personal and professional lives. And on our agenda, each of us will have something to share with you. We will first start with Tawana Burnett Fortune. She's going to have you get on board the ship with the 4 C's of relationships. We'll then be navigating obstacles to purposeful destinations with Katrina Banks. I will follow with some smooth sailing, life hacks for joy, peace, and clarity. And rounding out the trip, getting us to our destination, Destination U, will be Lisa Harris, building a competitive brand you. We have there that there will be Q&A if time allows, but if not, some of us will be around during lunch. And I'm also going to pass around this sign-up sheet. It's so funny with social media. We posted today. If you're interested in staying in touch with us, because we're planning on having a workshop during homecoming, perhaps a day or so before. We posted something on social media today saying, oh, we're excited about this. And everyone's like, when? Where? I want to be there. Well, they're not here. But it sounds like there's interest for us to do this again. So we'll be passing that around. If you want to be able to stay in touch, please sign up. And now let's get on board the ship with Tawana.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. How many thought that you would be able to have a free cruise when you signed up for the HU Biennial? Did anybody know you want to get a free cruise? Wow, that is wonderful. So what I want to talk to you about as we start, we can move on to the next one, getting on board the 4 C's of a relationship. So let's talk about a cruise. When we start thinking about going on a cruise, the first thing women usually think about is, what am I going to pack? What in the world am I going to wear? But the second thing we talk about when we're going on a cruise is who are we going to take with us? What persons are we going to take with us that's going to make us feel good? Because when we look at people, we look at not only who they are, but what they bring to the table. Say, for instance, if I have a girlfriend named Stacy, I know it's going to be unpredictable. If I have Suzanne, I know it's going to be intellectual. If I have Shauna, she's going to be the one that says, girl, 3 days ago, you said this and I've been thinking about it. So when we have a relationship with people, they bring something to the table. So since we are here as alumni, this is information that I think all of us can use within using what your skill sets are with your alumni association. So when we talk about the 4 C's of relationship, we're going to talk about relation and ship. Relation means a mutual connection between people, and ship means to transport, to move, and to journey. So when we start talking about our relationships with our alumni, with our relationships with the people that we're working with and our staff, we have to understand that the ship part of that means that we should be continuously moving. If we have anchored in our relationships, if we have stopped sailing, if we are going backwards, we're not in a moving relationship. So when we're in our alumni relationships, we should be moving forward. The first C is companion. A person with whom you spend a lot of time with and tends to complement or match each other. Who are you as a companion while you are a member of your HU organization? Who are you? What is it that you are bringing to the table as a companion? You are a partner, which means that you have like skills, you trust one another, you have respect, but you're also a proprietor, which means if you all are in charge of your Hampton Alumni Associations, you're the one down to the wire making the sole decisions. You're the one that perhaps is the commander-in-chief with the hat on. So when we're looking at companion, you can flip. We have two different types. You have your partnership, you're working collectively together on the same line, but you also have your proprietorship because you're going to be the person that's somewhat in charge of delegating tasks out. Our next C is compliments. When we start talking about relationships, I want you to not only think about what it is that you do to compliment people, but what is it that other people do for you that compliment you. So when we think about complimenting, we're thinking about courtesy, respect, showing fondness. When you think about yourself, do you actually give compliments out? Or are you the person that sort of receives those compliments? We just have to take into account that when we're in relationships, complementary relationships are relationships that grow very fast. You know, there are some people that you see and you just click automatically because there's something in your spirit that just comes together. And then there's some folk you say, ooh, I'm just going to sit back and watch that one. So we're going to move on to complicate, to make complex, to intricate, difficult, twisted, intertwined. There are some people that have come into our lifestyles and they complicate us. They really do, because they make us go to a place that perhaps we don't like who we are when we are with them. And as we know in organizations, we're going to have people that come in, Hampton alumni, that are going to complicate the process, but we may have some people that may come in and complicate the process. People who come in and compliment, they add to the journey. People who come in and complicate, they take away from the journey. So make sure that you're looking at your C's. Who you are as a companion. Do you compliment one another? Do you complicate another? And then the last one would be compromise. Now we have some folk that will come into our organizations and absolutely compromise the integrity of what our mission is for Hampton Alumni Associations. It may come in and compromise it by trying to destroy the agenda that you have. It may be coming in to tear down a person because they see them in the area of vulnerability. They create suspicion. People who compromise us, they drop seeds into your life every time they show up. And then they water it. But then they can lead to destruction. They can lead to damaging. So when we have someone that comes into our life and you know that they are compromising the integrity of your program or the integrity of your life, sometimes you have to say, is this the ship that I want to be in? So when we move, a ship is designed to take you places. So if your friendship, your partnership, your companionship, or your relationship isn't taking you anywhere, then you might want to abandon ship.
Well, well. Amen. Amen.
Hello there.
Hello.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Banks. I am a life empowerment coach. So now that we've talked a little bit about the shifts in our lives, and if things just aren't working out as we would like for them to, and sometimes we don't always have the courage to do what? To abandon that ship that my dear sorority sister and colleague has just talked about. Sometimes we need a little bit more what we call courage to try to get us to the next phase of navigating to where we actually need to be. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of what?
The shore. Come on.
And a lot of times it's not always easy when we really are starting a whole new chapter, looking at different purposeful destination in our lives. Because we're at the age now, a lot of us, where different things are starting to take place. There are different occurrences that we are now not sure of what's going to happen, where our next destination is going to be. So just for 30 quick seconds, I ask you to close your eyes for me. If you had to pick the perfect place, a destination where you would find another new purpose for you, where would it be? If you had to pick the perfect place to find a destination for a purpose for you, where would it be? So now, once you've developed and you've looked at that place, you've seen it in your third eye, now it's time to board. You're ready to set sail. We've already talked about the ships that have been developed. So now, how do you prepare for that new adventure? What does it look like? What does it look like? And what do you want to see happen once you get on board your ship to your new destination? So many times we get into the land of familiarity, right? Where we stay in a place where we're stuck. There's no place, the boat just sits there, and there's no place for us to go. But until we actually look at changing that adventure, changing that new purposeful destination, then and only then can we have the courage to step into a land, a new place where there's unfamiliar territory. A lot of times we stay in the same place where there's unfamiliar territory because we are what? We're scared. Fear definitely will paralyze us, not unless we decide that we have to make a change in our lives to take it to a whole new adventure. We want something new, we want something exciting, we want a new journey for us where we'll be able to start looking at the obstacles that are head on. Because a lot of times if we're fearful, and if we're stuck, and if we're in the same place, what do? We won't face the obstacles. We'll go all the way around to try to get to something that's new, to something that's exciting. We'll stay stuck in the same place. So now comes the time where we should do what? Leave that comfort zone. Because if we can start to develop more courage in our own spirit, in what's inside of us, and look at what's a new adventure, then you can start to become embracing what we call our purpose. Looking and seeing, because remember, when we first graduated from Hampton, our purpose probably has changed 1, 2, 3 times, and that's okay. It's a matter of what we're doing with that at this very moment for today. Find the direction, the use of your inner compass. The use of the inner compass, we also can refer to that as our inner spirit. And sometimes we don't always know when the inner spirit is actually speaking to us. But when you got that, how many of you have had that gut feeling when you know that something just is not right? And you're like, okay, something isn't going on, and I feel it, but you discount it and you move it to something else. Oh, I may have eaten something wrong for today, and my stomach is not doing and feeling what it's supposed to be. But once we actually start to look at that inner compass, that direction point for us, then and only then can we start to looking at what that journey, what that ship actually looks like. So then we start to focus on our time management, on our balancing our thoughts, meaning what do we do with mind, body, spirit, that balance work. And then going into the land of what we call self-discovery, looking at what matters the most to where we are, finding that purposeful destination. And then all of a sudden, once we're sailing along, we're on our ships, we develop that Hampton U camaraderie that's there. We hope that there will be a lighthouse there in sight. Meaning, if you think about a lighthouse, what does a lighthouse do?
Guide you.
Yeah, it actually guides. It's there to provide light for the ships that are out at sea. And if we all can continue to look at ourselves as the light, because the lighthouse, it depends on how much or how less you give to another person, how much you want them to see your light that's shining inside of you will determine what you draw and who comes to you. You see? And then when it comes to the arrival to the land of promise, the land of what I call milk and honey, when the impossible becomes possible, continue to provide encouragement to all Hamptonians that you come in contact with. Expect great things. Expect great things, and great things will continue to come to you on your adventure, on your journey. But always be open to more, to always be willing to expect to get some type of knowledge. Because knowledge is what? Knowledge is powerful. And when you reach that shore, acknowledge that your footprint is in the sand, that you have left a footprint on this earth as a Hamptonian, meaning that you've changed and there are better and greater things that are in store for you and for others that you come in contact with. Dream higher, and the rest will, dream higher than the sky and deeper than the ocean. So now the next move for us will be, how do we have a smooth sailing to get us to the next destination in our fantastic voyage?
Amen.
is, just so we can get started. I want to make sure we're all starting with the same language, because I'd heard about hacks for, well, let me say this. I saw a few heads nod in affirmation. Does anyone not know what a hack is? So I can define it. Okay. Because I had seen it on social media for a while. I'm like, what is this? And I finally looked at the videos. This is a shortcut. So I will be telling you how to increase the joy, peace, and clarity in your life in a way that is easy, to bring some ease to your life. So, we've all heard the adage that less is more, but you might find difficulty adhering to it. And as a result, you might find that you have more tasks than time, more stuff than space for it, more heft than health, or more month than money.
Well.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit of affirmation. So, of course, these are things that would be impediments to having joy, peace, and clarity in your life. So, what is a person to do? We often find ourselves struggling with ways to address this. But I have a quick and simple solution, a life hack, to get the joy, peace, and clarity. So I ask you to examine your life. And a question that I love to ask clients is, what is essential? I have people come to me and all of those issues they're addressing plus more, and their ideas and thoughts are scattered. And let's bring it to one place. What is essential? So think of this. Your heartbeat and your breath are two things that are very essential to your being, yet we rarely give them any consideration. We just kind of take it for granted that it's working until it doesn't.
It's working.
And a lot of times it happens with other essential things in our lives. We don't give them the attention that they need, and we get so scattered and then wondering what we are to do. And then when the essential things aren't working, we're really at a loss. So when you examine your life, you can begin to answer the question of what is essential, what's important to you, your family, your health, financial security. Those are probably among the things. I'm sure there are others that are important to you. Also ask yourself, where are you expending your energy? You know, everybody here I know is expending energy with Hampton Alumnae. That's one thing. You've got family, you've got work, you might have church, you might have other community organizations, you might sit on a board. And a lot of these things you do well and you do them happily, perhaps. And sometimes you find yourself in the position of, you know, because you do it so well, you always get voluntold to do things. Or some people I know volunteer themselves. I won't name names, Joe Briggs. Anyway, at the end of the day, after doing for so many other people, you might find yourself saying, am I really happy doing this? You know, am I having problems saying no to folks? Because that no is a complete sentence, is the line I like to share with folks. So if you see yourself expending energy in many places, and those aren't the ones that you identified as essential, that helps you identify where you need to rein things in. And then you have to ask, are you doing things happily or begrudgingly? You know, sometimes because someone asks, you do it, but you're not happy about it. And that's something else that drains your spirit, drains your energy, and keeps you from having the joy, peace, and clarity that you want. So here is the solution. Create a new life plan based on what you've determined to be essential in your life. Real simple thing. You've in one place written down, here's what's essential. Take a look at your calendar for a week or a month. Find where those essential items are or aren't. You will see that there are some things that you have down that you've committed a whole lot of energy to that upon reflection you've decided these aren't essential at all. And there are some things that are essential, perhaps going to the gym, because it just doesn't happen. You have to schedule it in. And if that's not on your calendar, you've got to make that a part of your calendar. And then you just repeat that exercise in other areas, like with your space, what's essential. Some people say you want things that are either beautiful or useful to you. And if they don't meet those two requirements, then you don't need it. So you can clear space for yourself that way. Your diet, we all know, because the doctors tell us what it is we're supposed to do. But now's a good point where you can kind of re-examine, because I think I only made one stop at McDonald's to get French fries during the week. Then I realized, no, it was more than once during the week. And I thought I had my veggies 3 times a day, and it was like, actually, no, maybe one day I did it. So you begin to examine your life that way. And then finally, with your budget, again, what is essential? Where are you spending your money? For some people, Starbucks is essential. I'm not going to tell you what is essential or not with your money. So if Starbucks is essential, you go for it. I know for me it's not. And if I find that I'm making some stops for some lattes, that I can remove that and use that money to really serve what's essential for me, any types of savings or any big purchase that I would like. So you do those things, you will have smooth sailing, and then you're right on your way to destination U.